so easy in our world to be critical, and we ought to have righteous judgment when we judge. We ought to call out sin when we see it. But it's very easy to point out somebody else's faults and miss our own and condemn them in the process. And I don't believe Jesus taught that. There's a parable in John 8 where he gives this simple command. He says, "He that is without sin among you, let him cast a stone at her." So let me share with you the full story. Jesus went into the Mount of Olives, and early in the morning he came again unto the temple. And all the people came to him, and he sat down and taught them. And the scribes and Pharisees brought him a woman taken in adultery. And when they had set her in the midst, they say unto him, Master, this woman was taken in adultery in the very act. Let me just pause right there and say this. If they're following Old Testament law, you not only had to bring the woman, but you had to bring the man as well. Now Moses in the law commanded us that such should be stoned. But what sayest thou? This they said, tempting him, that they might have to accuse him. But Jesus stooped down and with his finger wrote on the ground, as though he heard them not. Now he heard them, but he acted as if he was ignoring them. And what did he write? I don't have a clue. I got some good guesses, but don't know what he wrote. So when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, He that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her. He that is without sin among you, let him cast a stone at her. It goes on to say, and again he stooped down and wrote on the ground. And they which heard it, being convicted by their own conscience, went out one by one, beginning at the eldest, even unto the last. And Jesus was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. There is a part of me that believes the first time he stooped, he wrote out the correct law, and then underneath, when he stooped down the second time, he wrote out all of those in the crowd who had broken that law. That's just me. And Jesus was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. When Jesus had lifted up himself and saw no one but the woman, he said unto her, Woman, where are those thine accusers? Hath no man condemned thee? She said, No man, Lord. And Jesus said unto her, Neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more. And we'll save that one for tomorrow. But I want you to note, let he that is without sin, let him cast the first stone. Be careful if you think you're a person that needs to be in the business of condemning others, because you're not innocent either. You have